I spoke on that in Africa one day. It was like, I knew I was supposed to speak in Africa, but like I didn't know, like, it's my first time, so I didn't know what was
right.
What
it was really his first time speaking in general.
So like, I didn't have notes. So it's like, I'm telling you like 30 minutes before the service, I'm like, what am I supposed to speak about?
I think that's probably why most pastors don't have that happening when they're kids. You know, you probably
Man, you be shooting. I mean, shots fired. Pow, pow, pow.
You can find if you can find me another group of kids.
You are your daddy's son.
We'll take anybody. Our group will take anybody. I promise.
About what time it was, but I don't know if it was. I think it was like a spontaneous prayer.
Okay.
I don't think a prayer meeting, or it may have been like a evening prayer after Wednesday.
Right.
Y'all may have a knockdown drag out.
Right.
But you talked about the compass over the map.
Yes, sir.
If I say map, the word map, what does it say to you?
In like a spiritual way.
Spiritual, natural,
Whenever I think about a map, I think about something that's like set in stone, something that like you follow to get from point A to point B. Like something that will get you there no matter what. It won't fail you. It won't fail you, but there's no excitement behind it. You know where you're going. There's no mystery. There's no.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Like anything like that.
Yes, sir.
That's that's it. Hit the map and compass thing. So, I'm not even gonna try to interject on that. He's got.
Yes, sir.
That sounds.
Yes, sir. So what? But now, so we got the map. But then, what does the compass? You spoke about the.
You
compass.
look at the compass like in the way that like Abba handed you a compass or something. So the compass. So if I'm northeast, southwest, whichever way I'm facing. So, I mean, you have left, you have right, you have behind you, and you have in front of you.
Yes, sir.
You look in front of you.
Yes, sir.
Why would you look behind? You look in front, so your north is what's in front of you.
Yes, sir.
And so, Dad told it, like, your tears are your true north. Your tears are never going to fail you. Yahweh expresses himself through tears a lot of times. So, like, if you put away the map, the compass has a lot of mystery behind it. You don't know where you're going.
Yes, sir.
You're just following God. Wherever He's taking your tears is where you're going.
Yes, sir.
That's how I think about it.
Yes, sir. Man,
I spoke on that in Africa one day. It was like, I knew I was supposed to speak in Africa, but like I didn't know, like, it's my first time, so I didn't know what was
right.
It was really his first time speaking in general.
So like, I didn't have notes. So it's like, I'm telling you like 30 minutes before the service, I'm like, what am I supposed to speak about? Like, because you have to put yourself in these kids' shoes.
Yes,
like,
sir.
they haven't heard any, like, they've heard it, but like, they're not hearing it every Friday night like we're hearing it. It's a youth conference. So it's like you have to give them something that almost like helped me before I knew anything else. It was like the one thing that stuck with me was like, trade our map for our compass.
Wow.
Yahweh hands us our compass, and we're following the north, the true north.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm talking. And I had notes, and he started speaking. I was like, I had been awake for 48 hours on this the flights where that's a lot of flying. I had been awake for like 2 days. I finally get to a bed when we get to Africa, and I sleep for like 3 hours. Wow. And at 5 a.m. God wakes me up. Starts giving me stuff, and I'm like typing it down, and I'm like, I love to sleep right now. So I'm fired up. I'm jittery when I get there, and Uncle Jason kicks it off, and he knows everybody there, and they're fired up to see him. He's getting in, and Judah goes. Did you start?
This would be the second day, right? Like the first day we kind of just
first day we all kind of gave about 5 minutes, kind of just like we went up there and did it, and then
the second day it was supposed to be me and Landon. We're going to speak, and then Elijah and Ethan were going to speak the next day. And I think I got up there first, and
it was like me and Ethan were like, we good, man. Y'all got this.
Listen, man. We're talking about Africa, so let's talk about Africa.
All right, cool.
Because you all went to Benin, Africa.
Yes, sir.
On last year.
West Africa.
Yeah,
West
extreme
Africa.
west, extreme
Okay.
west. Yes, sir. It's just extreme
Yeah,
West
but in
Africa.
Africa it's west, so it's like it's right on the water. Like we
Yes,
went
sir.
to the beach, we all skimmed.
Yes,
It
sir.
was the scariest
It was
thing ever.
tough.
Let me tell you.
It's the biggest waves I've ever seen. in
12-foot
person.
waves are just over there crashing on the sand. It's like, dude,
On
get
shore.
inside of one of them things.
He
I
said
could
it's the
not figure out
scariest.
how to drop on that sand. I'm not good enough to
Uh-huh.
be able to do it, but like, it's crazy.
Oh,
It's the
man.
craziest thing I've
But
ever seen.
it's extreme West Africa.
Yes, sir.
So it's that's where all the slave ships came from, and where all the hurricanes would come from.
Wow.
So if we got hit by a hurricane, it would start on those waters.
Wow. Okay.
So,
Wow.
so that you can kind of mentally picture like where Africa is, where we are, all the way. We're touching the water.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir. Man, can you all talk about, because there was an encounter that was
Right.
I don't know, I guess what led to.
Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
Can you all,
So,
can you talk about that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, we had like some nights in Crestview, like extremely powerful. Just like some through it. Like we went down to the church one night. After the service, all the kids decided to stay up there, and I mean, we experienced encounters through the whole night.
Yes, sir.
And I had a vision of myself, and like one of the first times I've had a vision like this.
Yes, sir.
Like this is just like I had a vision. I was in Africa, and I was like kind of surrounded by a bunch of like African kids, and so I mean, I told Dad, and
That was a pretty luck because we've been wanting to go because obviously
Yeah, we've
Ethan and
wanted
Landon
to
are
go,
some of my
but-
best friends, so we've been wanting to go. And then after something like that, it was pretty like, you know, pretty
it's pretty
like
random that I would have like a vision like that. Like that's not really like me. Like kind of is now, but to have a vision
Yes.
like of us in Africa.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So, but that happened in
in
Crestview.
Crestview,
So
Yeah,
that
it
would
happened-
have been in January.
January
2023.
16th, 2023.
And we didn't go till August of 2023
oh
to actual
Yes, sir.
like to Africa.
wow. So you say it happened January?
Yes, sir. January 16th, 2023. We did
Cool,
we
cool.
did some services in Crestview that ended up extending for a couple weeks.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
See, I thought the encounter it happened here, but it happened in Crestview.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
We were living here,
But
but
y'all were living-
we were visiting Crestview,
Yeah,
Cool.
that's
which is
not
pretty
big,
common for us. We go
That-
there a lot.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Man, so just, I mean, how was your time there? Can y'all talk about how your time was, and you know, what are some of the things you all did while you were there? How was it? How was that
It
time?
was so
man?
much fun. Like, it was a blast.
Changed my life.
Did you have your own motorcycle? Did y'all ride? I know Pop said he rode it on the.
Yeah, Dad rode with some of
Dad
some of the boys there. Yeah, we crammed in some cars, and let me tell you, they do
don't
not
drive.
know how to drive.
It's scary.
It is the scariest thing ever.
Uh-huh.
Like, there's two sides of the road there, but that's not two sides of the road there.
Oh, really?
They drive wherever they want to.
Wow.
And they use their horn more than anybody, so if they to let you know that they're coming, they hit their horn. So you're on your right side of the road. I'm supposed to be over here, but we're right here, coming straight at you. Horn. They don't get over. We're just
Somebody gonna move.
somebody's got to move.
somebody gotta
and it's
move.
like horn again, and they jerk off like this far from
Oh
the car.
no! Oh man!
One lady was driving a diesel and she put gas in it.
Oh, she gonna tear up a vehicle, man.
Oh, it got tore up. We went through like three vehicles in one day,
It was.
one time.
Really? Dang! She put gas.
No, she couldn't drive.
And then we had this one dude that was driving like 75 the whole time, which is like would be
Yes.
driving like 120 here
Uh-huh.
because of
Wow, man.
Hey, but Dad didn't believe me. I said, Dad, she is driving crazy. And she's driving right up to. He said, Bro, you're just used to driving in America. Like, it's different. And I was like, ride with her. He had to grab the wheel because she was texting and about to hit somebody, and he had to move it. So he said, you are not riding with her again. He's like, I believe you now.
Because I believe you
We're
now.
going to fire her.
Yeah,
Man.
the
It was-
services were good though. And just the people was the best part. I don't really ever like. I'm not a big soccer guy. If I played soccer there, I had an assist. It's like the highlight of my African trip.
Yes.
Yeah, because I mean they're all like pretty good.
Right.
And Ethan and Landon are like
Really good.
You're right.
really good.
Right.
And so it's like I'm playing with all these guys. And
Right.
it's like, so I had an assist, and I was like, let's go.
That's good.
Yeah, it felt amazing.
Because y'all didn't go by yourself. You went with the Townsends, correct?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Our
It
family,
was just our family and their
us
family.
four and them four.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only people that went on that
Which
trip.
that's like our best friends. Like
Mhm.
Landon's my best
Right.
friend.
Ethan's
Elijah's
my best friend.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Cool.
It was a lot of fun.
What out of that trip and out of that time, man? Like, what do you take away from that time? What do you take away from it?
The people change you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Like the way the people live and the joy that they carry.
Mm-hmm.
Like if
Wow.
someone was living like that here, like
Mhm.
they wouldn't be joyful like they are.
Yes,
They're the most joyful people ever.
Wow.
And live like the most crappy life ever.
Yeah. And you
So
know,
it makes you like respect what you have and you cherish what you have.
Yes,
But
sir.
it's like, why am I not living with the same joy they're living with
Yes, sir.
times 1,000?
Wow.
Because look at what I have versus what they have.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
no, they're just, and if somebody even had that amount of joy here, it would be uncommon.
Wow.
Like there's,
You would
don't
notice,
meet, you would, yeah,
Mhm.
they, you know,
Wow.
you'd notice them in
They're
the
always
grocery store.
smiling.
They
Yes, sir.
smell like that.
Yes, sir.
The services were powerful.
Yes, sir.
They were great. Landon, we hope it was a translation thing. But he asked, he's like, how many of y'all felt God's presence? And like one kid raised his hand, and he raised his hand before they even translated. So I think he just wanted to raise his hand. And
This was
raised,
right after I got into speaking, so the same day Landon
yeah, this
gets
was
up,
the compass day, and
Uh-huh.
Landon
just
gets up and
starts praying. He's like, "How many of y'all have felt the presence of God in here?" Like one kid raises their hand, and me, Elijah, Ethan, Lane just look at each other. We're like,
Landon was
"Oh
like,
my
"This is gonna be
God."
fun," and everybody in that
Yeah,
room.
let me tell you,
Yeah.
about an hour and a
Wow.
half later, there's bodies all over the floor.
Wow.
Like, yeah,
Man, that's
it's
amazing.
crazy.
That's amazing. So the presence of God is the presence of God. It don't matter if you're in Africa or if you're in.
Yeah,
if
the
you're
presence
in
of
Mobile.
God
Same.
carries.
It's
yeah.
the presence of God. I mean, even
It was the same.
I thought it was gonna be different in the sense of, okay, so we were pastoring, and you know it was predominantly African American.
Right, sir.
Then we went and started. We were helping a predominantly Hispanic church.
Yes, sir.
Predominantly Hispanic church with worship, and we were utilizing their facilities, and they asked us would we help them with worship because they didn't have a worship team
Right.
at that time. And so I play and my wife sings and my son plays drums. We can do it.
Right.
Two piece and a biscuit.
Yeah.
2 piece and a biscuit. So, ain't nothing wrong with being a biscuit. It depends. Is it Popeyes or is it Church's or is it KFC? You know, just particular. No, I'm just playing. But no. But we would do it, man, and I was like, man, when we were there, I thought that would, you'd be like, man, it's gonna feel different. Maybe it'll feel different. But man, when the presence came in the room, it was like, whoo.
That's universal.
Woo.
The presence
like,
of God's the presence of
It's
God.
the presence of
Yeah.
God. It does, and I was like, okay, wow, this is amazing. So I mean, it's amazing to hear you all talk about
Yes,
it and
sir.
just how the Lord used you all. Man, I want to ask you all this because even Pop says that you all are, in not just you two, but even your demographic is at the church is a compass for him.
Right.
Can you talk about that? Can y'all talk about how, he's so open. He's like, I don't know a lot of pastors that's like that.
Right.
That would let 17-year-olds, 18, 12, 10-year-olds steer and say, okay, grip his heart and say, this is the way we need to go tonight. This is what, can y'all talk a little bit about that, about being the compasses? And
I think that's probably why most pastors don't have that happening when they're kids. You probably
man,
don't know.
Shots fired. Pow, pow, pow.
You can find if you can find me another group of kids.
You are your daddy's son.
We'll take anybody. Our group will take anybody. I promise. I promise. We'll take anybody.
No, you good, man. You good. You welcome. Say what you say, man. It's good.
No,
You good.
I think we'll. I mean.
But I think your statement is true though.
I know it's true because I've been to more churches than most kids my age have. I can promise you that.
Really?
I've traveled.
Yes, sir.
I've traveled a lot to a lot of churches, and I
Yes,
haven't ever seen a group of kids that are as willing to let the Spirit move on them. And I think that's because we're not getting like a kids meal version of it, And because that's the problem a lot of times is it's like you don't feel like you can step into it until you're a certain age, and I think that's just not the case.
Man, look, man. You don't even get a kids meal version at youth services.
No, sir.
When I go to youth, when I come to the youth, I've been to 2 sets, I think, of youth services. When we first moved here, it was the second part of the campus in.
Right.
In August. So it was we came on the second leg of it. And then you had the youth services at during
New Year's. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Strong arm emoji. Strong.
Yeah.
2 of them.
Double. And it's like that on a win. It's like that last night.
Yes, sir.
You know, that's not even just when they all gather together, man. It's like,
right.
and I think that's because we got all the leaders, all the leaders, not even just Dad. We got all the, Uncle B, Taylor Martin. They're all like, man, we want to, we're coming next, and we're,
yes, sir.
Them being so open to us is why we're so open to, letting him move.
Yes, sir.
And
yes, sir.
It's me and Judah definitely weren't always like this. We definitely didn't want to be in the church every day. So I think you have to look at the change in us and the change in the other kids, the change in guys like River and Caleb.
Yes, sir.
You have to look at that and say, man, they could be in any church, but their dad and mom, Nate bringing them in, their mom eventually coming, their parents, yes, to put them in a room where the pastor is going to be like, we're going to let them, if they want to be here, I'm going to be here.
Yes, sir.
And then you can say, well, how many other pastors have 100 kids that just want to spend every second up there getting wrecked? And it's not many.
Yes, sir. Man, you all have a Wednesday night. You're a Wednesday during service, and y'all do your thing, and God will hit during chapel. And then you'll go to your dad. Somebody will go to your dad and be like, I think we should, come back.
Right.
What does it mean for you all for your dad to be open enough to be like, okay?
Well, I know that that's all he wants to do. I don't think we've definitely had, there's definitely been talks about it before, but most of the time when we say that, he's like, if we didn't call a service, me, Judah, and Dad are probably gonna go up there anyways.
Wow.
A lot of nights, that's how it goes. And Nate will be up there most of the time with us, and Taylor will be up there whenever he can, and it's like, we're gonna be up there anyways.
He's gonna be there anyway.
Might as well open the doors for everybody else.
Cool, man. I just think it's amazing that you could even suggest and be like, hey, okay, yeah,
yes, sir.
We open up to everybody. When it's a situation like that, do you all come together as youth and be like, hey, I think we should come, or do you just be like, hey?
I feel like everybody feels it. It's like like everybody can kind of just tell. Like before I even no one honestly even comes and tells me. I just see it on Instagram.
Yes, sir.
I'll see the story or whatever,
right,
and I'll be like,
yes, sir.
I was honestly feeling like that was gonna happen anyway.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And
yes, sir.
Once Dad walks in at the end of those chapels though, and he sees, he can tell too. He can be like, there's something that broke out here today that might as well let the adults come in tonight, and the kids who might
y'all
not
so
go to
kind.
school.
Bro,
anytime.
You so kind to let us come in and be a part, man. Because reunion weekend was dope. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
It was all that.
Yes, sir.
But when you go to have that Thursday night and that Friday morning service,
right. That Friday morning was something else.
That Friday I was like, my different. God. I'm like, is the room shaking?
That's what I'm saying. Friday morning
no, it is the room shaking. Because
even the summer youth services, with the baptism,
which
were y'all here for that?
We weren't here for that one. We didn't make it.
See,
we saw it, but
even
we weren't here for
was
that.
Like, bro, I've sat in on countless baptisms.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've been to so many freaking churches. I've been to so many freaking baptisms, and I have never in my life been shaken we still had a 15-minute walk to the pool.
Right.
And you're carrying people there.
Wow.
From the church.
Yeah, everybody was singing on the way down there.
Yeah, there's videos of us just somebody started singing on the walk down, and then you had 300 people singing.
It was amazing.
Man,
Because we had like three, technically we call them youth camps.
yeah,
And we had 3 of them this year.
yeah.
And normally it's summer.
Yes, sir.
And then we started summer and winter.
Uh-huh.
We had 2 in the
Yes,
summer this year because
yes,
of how
sir.
crazy the first one was.
Man, I'm grateful. I'm just grateful to be connected.
I am too.
Yeah,
I feel
I'm
the
just
same
glad I'm
way.
here.
Like,
I'm grateful.
it's our dad, it's awesome that we get to be so in front of it. But I mean, I would make the decision to be in it if I
Yes.
wasn't. So I'm just super grateful as well.
Man. So, y'all, we've hit a lot of what I want to say, but there is something that's interesting. Let's talk about mentorship. Let's talk about mentor. You talked a little bit about that, even, but you said you go in there, you try to make somebody happy, a little young one happy,
Yes, sir.
or whatever.
Yes, sir.
Just give them a little fist pound or whatever. I love the culture at the church. I love the relationships between the young ones and the older ones.
Right.
That they,
Yes,
talk and then you look out for each other, mentor each other. I saw something during reunion weekend and it broke me. So I hope I don't cry.
Right.
But I may. But I hope I don't.
Hey,
I'm gonna try to
feel
hold
free.
on. But it was during reunion weekend, and the homie Troy was at the church.
Yes, sir. Shout out Troy.
Does Troy live in? He lives in
He
Florida.
lives in Santa Rosa. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Santa Rosa.
Shout out to Troy. I hope you see this. Troy, we love you. Troy's there. He's walking up the middle of the aisle that Saturday night, and he was talking to some people behind me.
Right.
And he's conversating with them, and I didn't get to see him, but I didn't get to talk to him, but I see my son Michael coming up the aisle from the restroom. He's coming up the aisle, and I guess it's kind of like the song, how the song we sing, the song "When I Lock Eyes on You."
Yeah.
So when they locked eyes, like their faces lit up.
Yeah.
And I saw my son's face light up.
Right.
I saw my son's face light up. Then he has a little mouth. My son has a little mouth. But that little mouth, he had all his teeth showing.
Yeah.
He was just so happy to see Troy. And Troy's face lit up and he smiles. And then they embrace. And they stand in the middle of the aisleway on a Saturday night at reunion weekend, rocking.
Yeah.
And just smiling.
Yeah.
They ain't even talking.
Yes, sir.
They're just hugging and rocking. And I sat there, the same way I'm sitting here now. I sat there that night like, God, it just blessed me.
Yes, sir.
It just, like that moment.
Right.
Even my children, my oldest son with Derek, or with you all.
Right.
Even during the, what was it? The tunnel, the fire tunnel.
Yeah.
They're coming through and I see you hugging my son. I'm like, man. You just, can we talk about, there's a great number of older teens, male or female, how important are those relationships, do y'all think?
They're super important. I don't I feel like there's obviously like people that are older that mean a lot to me, like Taylor and Martin and my dad and stuff like that. But I feel like a lot of the guys that I had my moments with were my age, no matter how old we were. Drake Amick, his older brother Billy, even his other brother Jonas. Just like, we all grew up together and we all were the same age while that was happening. And now I can look at the younger ones and be like, there was like, they're still figuring it out. They're still younger. So like, I remember we wouldn't, when me and Drake were younger, we still had to figure it out.
Yes, sir.
And I can still remember moments where, one of like Billy, for example, Drake's older brother, I remember a moment where we were in North Carolina and I was just getting wrecked. And I was probably there for an hour and I didn't know that he was still there. But when I sat up, he was still sitting beside me. Wow. And it's like that, those kind of moments stick with you. And it's like, if I can bring that moment for somebody, that would be awesome. And it's not something obviously I aim at it, but it's not something that I strive to be in those moments. I'm not always trying to be that guy, but it's like, even for other guys our age, like when I see one of them doing that, I'm like, see, that's gonna that'll mean a lot to that
Yes,
kid.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, I just love the relationships. I
Yes,
love,
sir.
the relationships that my children tell. They'd be like, man, yeah, Judah said this, or I talked to Elijah, and he, I'm like, man, I'm grateful for that.
Yes,
I'm
yes,
grateful for those relationships. Fire tongue.
Oh yeah.
1:12:24.
One tell you.
That was a night. That was a night.
That was a night, bro.
That's one of those things too. Like I've experienced fire tunnels, and I've seen
Right.
other people experience like that. I've never experienced it like that.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like through the whole service.
Bro, I've gone through a bunch of fire tunnels.
Uh-huh.
I've gone through a bunch of fire tunnels when I was 8 in Chattanooga. We did them a pretty good bit then. And I just walk, you just walk through. I just thought it was cool. I'd walk through with one of my buddies or something.
Uh-huh.
And then it's like, now I slowly got older, and I remember Campus Sin in Ohio fire tunnels when that started to kind of just be like, that was some of the most significant encounters for me at that age.
Mm-hmm.
A fire tunnel in Kannapolis, I remember that was super significant for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then now to be in to be 18 and be in my first one I've gone through it a long time. It's like, and just the presence and obviously in that room that night was wild.
Man, I mean, a powerful move of God, and then how do you, like you see the youth. I mean, because the whole service was powerful,
Right?
But then, and then they say, now the youth come. You all come at the end. I say you all, but your demographic. Most of the teams come at the end. It's like, how are they able to stand to even walk around to get to the.
A lot of people weren't.
I was getting wrecked from the first 5 minutes of that service because they played one of the songs that had been like on repeat for me for the past like month. It just been like wrecking me, like the lyrics of it and like all that had just been like like that's like was like what was going on in my life fit up to that.
Right.
So it's like the first 5 minutes of that service I'm getting wrecked, and then it's like what is to come.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. Man, that night was so crazy and so powerful. I was like, my goodness. I had never. Now I've never. That was my first fire tunnel.
Okay.
I had never
That's a good
experienced.
first fire tunnel.
Man, it was a good one too.
Yeah.
It was a good one. Then you go to church and people pray for you.
Right.
But not like
something
that.
about that.
You know what I'm saying? You got people on both sides, and you walking through, and they're praying over you. You know,
right.
it's like oh, and it's like whoo, but it was like it was most powerful.
Yes, sir.
It was amazing.
It was most powerful, man. Listen, we gonna keep rolling because I know y'all got things y'all got to do.
Take your time.
I ain't trying to hold
we having
up
fun.
all night, man.
Good.
Good.
Said we don't got. This is like a Friday night for us. Thursday's like Friday.
Yeah,
now.
Thursday like Friday.
Because we're gonna get it on tomorrow night.
Hey,
Friday night.
You know it.
We got Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday morning, and Sunday night this week.
Man, we going back. It's like they're throwing us back in time. Because that used to be normal.
Let's talk about it.
That's what that used to be life.
Yes, sir.
Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday morning, Sunday night, and probably Monday night. I'm gonna predict this probably won't be out when this happens, but y'all might see us in Tennessee again Monday night.
It's a chance we may be there on Monday.
I guarantee it.
10-year anniversary
right.
of the time. I think times of refreshing.
Times of refreshing, yes sir. The 90 days.
The 90 days that you all were there had got poured out in Chattanooga.
Yes sir.
Can you how old were you all when that happened?
I was 8. I was
5, 6.
Really?
6.
5 and 6. Yeah.
So during that time, you all stayed there that whole 90 days, right?
We would go to school Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and miss most Fridays.
Okay.
Yeah, we get out early and we drive there. It was like 5.5 hours.
Yeah, we would drive every Friday to Chattanooga.
Okay.
We stayed, like I said, we were talking about the moon pie.
Yeah.
Probably, I think it was before we were we were rolling. That we stayed in the same hotel until it became we were there. Dad didn't leave a lot, so when Dad was even doing during the week services, because there was a lot of times where it was 7 days straight.
Really?
So we ended up renting a house right next to the church.
Cool.
The church there actually got us a house right next to the church.
See, that's what I was wondering, because I was like, it was a times where there was like services every day. So there was.
We would go back to school for a little bit.
For a little while.
We had it. we had it down pat. We had revival down pat.
Man.
We made jokes that started becoming serious because things in South Carolina hadn't kicked off yet. There was still we were still in transition there, and it wasn't rolling there.
Yes, sir.
So we made jokes about saying, man, we call ourselves revival gypsies. We were just gonna hop in a van and we were gonna mom and Aunt KK were gonna homeschool us, and we were just gonna travel and be in revival because that's what we had been doing, and we were loving it.
Right.
So yeah, we're coming up on 10 years of that, which is like really cool.
Man, do you ever think? Do people ever look at you and I know you said like this is not normal,
right?
Yeah.
Like this way you live. I mean, just even hearing you all talk about how you lived,
right,
for extended periods. Like it's like this isn't normal, but it's like, man, but not just that, but having parents and who are willing to, press into God or press into where God is moving and going. Now, many times for you all, your parents are leading. If I can say it,
yes, sir.
If I can say it like that. But even like I said, it was just like, okay, this is where, because I heard Ty talking, doing some interviews, and he said that his parents were like really, really purposeful about having him and his brother in the move of God.
Right.
Like, how important is it? Talk to the parents. Talk to some parents that's like, man, I see what God is doing here, but
it's the most important because whether you realize it or not, that's the people you look up to every day of your life.
Right.
I mean, you live with your parents, and those are the people that like you look to see the way that they provide for you and the way that like they've done everything is like it's what you look up to.
Right.
Like you look up and inspire to be your parents.
Right.
So it's like that's the most important thing. Like it's not like you see all these kids like experiencing this, but like if the kids go home at night and look at you and like you're not, I mean, not even like, I don't know how to put it, but like you're not expressing yourself in the presence of God like the kids are. Like the kids still look at that and it's like, well, if my parents aren't experiencing this, then
and I've seen
am I
that
really
happen.
Experiencing it?
I've seen that happen. I've seen.
As far as the children are experiencing,
I've seen the children, the families experiencing it. The parents aren't as pressed in. The children will keep being in that to a certain extent, but at the end of the day, they're going home to their parents, and that's who that's who they want to believe. That's who they want to hear from, and that's who they want to be. And it's like, man, like I remember one time. Uncle Trey Wright, Braden's dad. After the first time Braden had an encounter, he was like, I'll park all the cars, I'll wash them. That's how I feel like that's how if I had kids right now and I was able to I'd do anything to get them in the room.
Yes, sir.
Because I know how much it's meant to me that my parents were like, we'll sell everything to leave.
Right.
And at first, it was a easy yes, but being here at first was hard. Losing some friends was hard, but now you're like, do that.
Yes, sir.
10 times over.
Yes, sir.
So,
shout out to Dustin Delano, because he
Dizzy Dustin.
What you call him?
I call him Dizzy Dustin.
man, I love our principal. I love Dustin.
Yes, sir. Me too.
But he a little taller than me, man.
He's a little taller than me.
Man, so every time I
can
hug
still
him,
dunk on him.
I
can still dunk on him.
My head hit his chest when we hug on him.
Yeah, me too.
I'll be like, ooh, hey, I'm just gonna rock with it. He said, me too. And you too. But he said something to me one day. We were having a conversation, and he said quite a few things. We've had conversations. He's always saying something that it blesses me. But he said, what if your eyes were the first eyes that your children would see his eyes through?
Wow.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. Yes, sir. No.
I have something like to that. Like I was watching a I think it was a podcast. I don't remember who it was, but they were like, it was Corey Russell. He was doing a podcast, and he was talking about a vision he had
Yes, sir.
had, and he was like, my goal is to see kids walk in the room and see their parents physically experiencing the presence of God, not hearing their parents tell them about it.
Right.
So not walking in and their parents telling them about God, but walking in and seeing their parents weeping and
Yes, sir.
experiencing the presence of
Yes,
God,
sir.
to
Yes,
actually look at that and not just hear it.
Man, I think it's dope. You know, I'm just a little different when it comes to how I'm, you know, when it comes, my heart is for the Lord. I'm
Right.
a worshiper, I'm
Yeah.
a praiser. I love the Lord,
Right.
and I'm exuberant in my praise.
Yes,
And
sir.
you're going to know that black man like praising God.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Because, you know, I don't mind whether if I'm in my seat or if I come out to the front. I'll dance and I'll jump with my children right there. And
Yes,
it's
sir.
like us praising God together, but even in church, but even in the house as well. It's like, man, okay, I see that. But I to be able to be there with my children,
Right.
praising God with them,
Right.
to see, and even to see His presence upon them, and even them to see, okay, how God's moving up on my heart. You know, like they'd be like, Daddy, where were you at? We couldn't find you. I was back in the corner crying.
Yeah.
I was
I
back
was trying
there.
to watch, but I was crying. Yeah.
I've had like, one of the things I've been like looking into and studying is like, whenever like the word encounter,
Yes, sir.
you're becoming like face to face with something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So encounter is not just you weeping;
Mm-hmm.
it's you with your hands lifted,
Mm-hmm.
dancing before the Lord. That's an encounter.
Yes, sir.
Like people look and they're like,
Wow.
like, did you actually have an encounter? Well, yeah. Like, it doesn't matter if I'm on the floor with you weeping. I have my hands lifted and I'm dancing before the Lord because I have joy because of the Lord.
Yes, sir.
That's an encounter.
Yes, sir.
Well, even you
Wow.
use the word encounter to describe when you met us,
Yes, sir.
right? And
Yes, sir.
that
Yes,
was
sir.
just a
Yes, sir.
You
that was
encounter
just
something.
us eating barbecue across from each other. But that was you encountering me.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
you know, I agree with him. I've never really even like I've never even put it together like that. But it's like, you know, every time you talk to God, you're encountering God.
Mm-hmm.
If you saw me at the store, you could come home and tell her you encountered me at Walmart,
Right.
and
right.
she wouldn't be
Right.
weirded out by that statement.
Right. Right.
But
right.
people, you know, encounter can be, you know, you can put too much to it sometimes.
We really, I think we do put a lot. We can
Right.
because we're looking for, like, how do I want to say this?
You're looking for a word to, as they were saying, like you're looking for a word to describe that moment.
Well, it's more so, bro. Like we're looking in our day. We're looking for something like super dramatic that happens.
Right.
Like we want
right.
a whole out of body
Yeah,
experience.
yeah.
We want a transportation. You know, we
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
to the front room.
Yeah.
So I'm
We're-
saying,
because
people take it far.
We take it really
Yeah.
far, and we don't. And not that he won't do that now.
No,
Not saying those
yes, sir.
things won't
That-
happen.
that will happen.
We done had it. You know.
Right.
But that may not be all because
Yes, sir.
because I want to watch how I say what I say.
You're good. Go for it.
You know, I don't want to. You know, your dad don't mind getting in trouble. I don't either. But
Hey,
you
I'm
know,
cool. Neither do I.
I don't. But there was a time when around a certain group, if you didn't have a face-to-face encounter with Jesus, face-to-face encounter with Jesus, or see him, you know, in some type of way, it would almost make you feel like, am I really saved?
Right,
Am I doing
right.
enough? Am I praying enough? Have I fasted enough? Have I done it?
Right.
Now that's what Pops talks about. He talks about the works and doing all
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah.
now, have I done enough to where I could encounter Jesus, where He'll come to me?
Right.
And it's like when I read Scripture, I don't see people doing stuff. I see people just coming home and he comes through and he starts talking like,
Right.
hey, go down here and go get this dude because this dude is. I need you to go. I need you to go
right.
here. You know. So or he came.
Right.
And it was just, and so, as you said, I think it comes, we make it something more Not that it's not those things. Not that it's not.
It definitely is.
You know, not that we won't have out of body experiences,
Right.
and that he won't take us up or
That's part of it,
or
for sure.
transportations. Not that won't happen, but just the simple.
You gotta cherish the little things.
You have to.
Yes.
You have to cherish the little things.
Right.
Man, this is good, brothers.
This is
Brothers,
awesome.
this is good. Let's shift. Let's shift a little bit. Because we have a musician in the house. We have a music. Now I don't know. I didn't Judah. I didn't know Elijah. I'm sorry. No, Judah. I didn't know if you did musical stuff. Do you
Uh-uh.
you
Yes,
don't
sir.
you don't okay. We're gonna talk about yours in a minute though, because I heard some. But we're gonna talk about yours in a minute. But let's talk about dear whiskey.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And but even before that, man. I mean, but what all like instruments do you play?
I play keys and I play guitar.
Keys
I'm in the learning process of guitar right now. I can play guitar now, but I'm still learning how to get. I'm still in the learning process of it.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. But I would say I could play keys and guitar.
How many guitars you got, bro?
I just got one. I got a Taylor Big Baby, and it's my best friend right now.
You say you got a Taylor Big Baby?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Taylor's the brand.
Right.
Gotcha.
So it's a Taylor Big Baby,
Mm-hmm.
and it's awesome. I love it. Somebody gave it. I think Uncle B gave it to my pops, and pops gave it to me. Dad doesn't play. He just gave it to him as kind of like just a gift, and it sounds amazing.
Man, you know what, man? Now I'm gonna say this. You know, one thing I love about Pops, and we're gonna get back. I'm gonna get
Right.
your dad is not a musician,
No, sir.
but he be throwing me off sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, he be throwing me off. Cause you know how sometimes we be in church and he be like, okay, he'll start singing in the spirit.
Right.
He'll be like, and I'm like, man, he be lying, man. He can sing. He can sing a little bit. I think he lying.
Everybody, there was. I don't want to say a name that's wrong because I could miss it. But there was one of his guys that he used to run with that tried to get him to do an album at one point. It's like
really
he can sing enough that they were like, man, this will make you some money. You know, like you popping right now. He can sing and like sometimes he sings something and you're like, hey, that sounded pretty good. Yeah.
Hey man, Kirk Franklin tell you that. Hey, Kirk Franklin can get away with it.
Yeah.
Kirk Franklin got millions. He done made all kinds of songs and hits and can't sing a lick.
No.
Huh?
He's stacking it.
And your dad can sing a little bit. It sound like it, you know what I'm saying? He can do a whole song in tongues and fool everybody.
He should. Maybe we should put that out. I'm gonna get him in the studio.
Man, no, but I love, even though he may not feel like he's a musician, he may not feel, but man, I love how he understands the atmosphere what the atmosphere needs or what the moment needs.
Right.
It's amazing. You know, you watch him and he'll give a signal to Rudy. He knows, okay, we need that sound.
Yes, sir.
That we need that sound.
The way he can so quickly realize like we need to stay in worship or we need to transition. It's like so on point now that it bothers me if I go to another church and I'm sitting there in worship for 3 hours. And like I can now tell that it's not going anywhere.
Yes, sir.
Like there's
Yes, sir.
like God like leads us.
Yes, sir.
That's why we have our compass. And
Yes,
so
sir.
it's like he knows so well on when to transition and
So for people, our churches is different. You know, our house is different. It's a different house, but I get it. But help people who may not know, and those who may not sure, who may watch. Sometimes we have bread nights, and then sometimes we have wine nights.
Yes, sir.
Can you talk to the people and tell the people what is a bread night? What does that mean?
A bread night would, the worship was good, but, my pops was feeling like he needed to say something. He had some stuff that, and I feel like he comes into every service feeling like he's got something to say.
Yes, sir.
But that's what the Lord was breathing on, was actually him speaking. And then on a wine night, it's, we got into worship and it was flowing and it broke loose and he wasn't breathing on it. He wasn't in. A lot of times he does speak during those. He gets up on stage and gives a piece or two. But it's not one of those nights where he sits down with his table and teaches.
Yes, sir.
It's where the Lord's just, pouring out wine and everybody's getting to drink.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Because, I love the way now I never articulated that even when we were pastoring, and it's what's amazing. It's amazing when you get around like kind. I mean,
yes, sir.
Because it was different for us and for me because I was like, man, you'll almost try to force the preach,
right?
Because it's so different. It's like,
yes, sir.
But it's like, I had to learn. I'm like, well, is he telling you? Is he telling you?
Yes, sir.
To speak now, or
is that what you feel like you're supposed to?
Right.
Do? Right.
And so it's been refreshing in being here and just how he moves and how navigates him through service.
Yes, sir.
Back to my man, the musician. Man, how many songs have you written, bro? I know you got a pen on you.
Yeah, I don't think we could count. I would say if you counted every time I wrote a verse, two verses, a chorus, not a full song, but if you counted every time I started to write a song.
Yes, sir.
400.
I got you.
500.
Wow.
Something like that. Easy. Every day. Every day. I mean, so that's what makes me think it's more.
Yes, sir.
It's every day.
What is it like doing a session with TF? I like to call him TF because I like Tom Ford. I like Tom Ford, so I guess fragrances. But that's just me. I'm just putting it out there for somebody that's to my right.
Right.
I like Tom Ford. But anyway, but you're a designer, you understand. But no. But what is it like doing a session with Taylor Ford? We love Taylor. Shout out to Taylor Ford.
He's like, me and him talk music every day.
Yes,
but it's really cool when me, him, and Ty get in a room. Tyler's obviously a very talented musician, and he's a very talented with instruments.
Yes, sir.
Taylor's very talented with crafting melodies, and I like to write lyrics.
Yes, sir.
So, I can come in with a full song. And I can sit this down. I can be like, man, I can't play this the way I want to. I can't craft it the way I want to, and we'll all let our talents work together.
Wow.
And writing down lyrics is obviously like, it's a lot. Not everybody can do that, but it's nothing if you can't have the right people to craft it for you. So I mean,
collaboration.
Yeah, right.
So you need some collaboration.
Because when we wrote Dear Whiskey's the only song we've ever really let people hear. Because there's been 2 or 3 songs that I've written that they've sang in during worship sets or whatever. But Dear Whiskey, that we decided to post that, and
which is fine.
It's coming out. It's already, we got it recorded.
Yes,
so
sir.
Y'all be ready. It's gonna be on Spotify, Apple Music.
Talk about it.
It's gonna be out soon. It's recorded, so we're gonna. Y'all be ready. Look, keep your eyes open on Instagram because we'll be announcing some stuff soon. But I brought him 80%. I brought him 80% of a song.
Okay.
And then we stripped it down to 65% of a song. And then we built it up to what it is now.
Right. Yes, sir.
So it was I had a couple other ideas in the initial version of the song that we didn't think, that once I got in the room with him and we started playing it, we didn't think sounded good. So we took that out and we added some stuff.
Yes,
and that's my favorite part of it, is watching. Because I write lyrics every single day, but there's not a lot of song. There's a lot now, but it's not every day that you get to see one of them actually come to life.
Come up and
That's my favorite part of it, is watching something just piece together and come to life.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Cool. Now, man, look, I was on my Facebook the other night.
Right.
I got on there a little bit, started looking at the reels. Taylor Ford, I saw something that he had, and it said something. I'm like, oh, it was talking about a clothing line.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So I go over to another couple, and Melissa Richardson has a picture of it. I'm like, and I read, I see what it says, and I'm like, and I see a name. I said, oh, okay, that's what we doing. Talk to us about Tethered clothing. Can we talk about Tethered?
We can talk about it a little bit.
Let's talk about it a little bit. What's going on with Tethered clothing? Can you talk about the creators and just
So I love fashion. Like fashion's like
you see these hoes. You see the hoes. My man coming to church on Fridays. Now,
hey,
he may be a little
I'm still
tired.
debating, dude. I want to wear like a cut off like Harley shirt.
Uh-huh.
But I'm like, what are people gonna think if I put the church with no sleeve shirt on? You know what I'm saying?
You gotta do it.
Hey man, if you make it past pops and your moms and pops, hey man, you good.
I can walk out the door without them seeing me. I'll be good. No, but yeah, fashion's like I love fashion. Like
yes, sir.
It started off with sneakers and then like shirts, pants, vintage, streetwear, designer. Like I love it. Like it's cool to like being able to put together an outfit is like I loved Legos when I was a kid. So it's like you're putting together Legos, but you're getting to like actually put it on. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, it's a whole culture. It's a whole like I love it. So I had the idea to start a clothing brand called Tethered Clothing.
Yes, sir.
Cool. Ethan Townsend's doing it with me. He's helping me. He's really good on doing like actually like putting my ideas to a design, like camera work, like photography, websites. So I was like, dude, instead of me paying you to do each of this, I'm just gonna give you a percentage of the brand. It's gonna make it easier on me. You're gonna get to put your ideas into it with me. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And so,
the man a boss, man. Come on, man. I hear you talking. Talk your talk. Talk your talk, my man.
I got a video last night
for real?
of it getting printed, the t-shirts.
I think that's on Instagram.
So
on Ethan
yeah,
Townsend's
I put it on my
Instagram.
story. Yeah.
Really?
So
you got some gear out. It's coming.
It's close. Like honestly, like I might have a t-shirt tomorrow.
It's coming up on
It's
us.
gonna be mine. So yeah, it's like we have our mock t-shirt being made like today. So we'll get to look at it, and
Yes,
it's
sir.
like I'm telling you, this first drop's like mad exclusive.
Ooh, yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
It's mad exclusive.
Man,
We haven't put out like the logo, like no one's seen it but us.
Uh-huh.
Like me and Ethan are the ones that
That's wonderful.
have the logo. Like everybody's asking for it.
Yes, sir.
It's like no, you're gonna have to wait.
Now I read something. Now, can you kind of talk about the vision behind the brand?
Yeah, for sure. So I like whenever you put together an outfit, like you feel more confident. You know what I'm saying? So like my thing on it is like, how can I help people be more confident? Put this on, get compliments on it,
Yes,
have
sir.
other people like it, be able to put it on myself
Yes,
and
sir.
be like, this is a brand that I made for myself to get it put out. And it's like you look at it, bro. There's some cringy Christian brands out there. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want Jesus like on a cross on my back, dude. I just like I just don't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it's like
Pop said he ain't gonna wear no Christian shirts. He said
Yeah.
he said I ain't seen one that's cool enough yet.
Yeah, they're coming.
But they coming though.
I've been there while they were cooking. We were in Dallas last week, and they were up all night cooking.
Damn.
so I would say March is when the t-shirts drop because I think we'll have them all made by like within the next week or so.
Yes, sir.
And then we'll have to like model them and stuff and do all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
They're legit.
I'm happy for you, brother.
Yeah, they're fire. I can't lie.
Why the word tethered? Was
Alright,
that you
here's the thing.
or was it you
Here's-
and Ethan?
Oh, completely me and Ethan. So
Okay.
here's the thing. So at first
I think
I
it
was
speaks.
running through ideas. It was originally I was gonna do it's called Timeless.
Mm-hmm.
And I was sitting there and I could not settle with it.
Uh-huh.
Like I had t-shirts made and I was sitting there and I was like I can't settle with it.
Uh-huh.
And I'm sitting in church one night and like I'd been asking like God, I'm like I know this is what I'm supposed to do. I know this brand's what I'm supposed to put out. The name is not sticking.
Yes, sir.
And I'm sitting there and I'm like, tethered, untethered, tethered, untethered. So I put tethered/untethered in my notes. And we get to Dallas in the thing, and Ethan shows me this shirt he drew up like months ago
Yes,
for
sir.
the brand. And it literally said untethered on like it was an angel and it said like untethered over it.
Uh-huh.
And I'm sitting there and I'm like, dude, look at these notes. And I was literally like untethered. So we went through a whole thing. It was like, do we want tethered? Do we want untethered? The meanings, the way it looks, whatever. So we went with tethered because, I mean, it means like to be joined together, to be one, you know?
And Pops talks about how he stayed tethered to Apostle Aaron.
Right.
Yeah,
I
like,
don't know what that had to do
you're
with it, but
tethered,
it's
like you're,
man,
you're
right.
locked in there together.
It's a significant word for sure.
It's definitely, man, I saw that, I was like, ooh, tethered.
The one thing I think I can say is the t-shirts, it's going to be gold, like not the shirt, but the lettering and stuff.
Yes, sir.
And that's like the first one, like
Mhm.
you're not going to be able to get another gold shirt.
Man, you see,
No,
he's
I'm
dropping it. He giving us a look. He giving
You
us a look.
gonna want a shirt from the first drop.
Uh-huh.
That's all. Like all I'm saying is you gonna want to pay for this first drop, and you gonna need to be early because like
Are y'all hearing this?
They're ready. People are ready
Yeah.
already.
Yeah,
There's
people
like
are
that.
already
If
trying
that
to
first
pre-order.
exclusive drop, everybody's already like fired up about. So
Okay, so
I'm excited. About
the merch is dropping. You said maybe March-ish.
I would say March.
I don't want to put no words in your mouth. I don't. You know. I don't
I
want
would
nobody
say.
to say.
I would say March. I would
Yes,
say we have the shirts by February. March is when we start like getting
Yeah.
everything set up. I would say the end of March.
Cool. Man, that's wonderful, man. I'm happy about what's happening for both of you all.
yes, sir.
Like getting ready to graduate, doing your thing. So, and this just came up. We're about to be through, but will you be joining it within Union University,
Yes,
or will you
sir.
be
I plan
teaching?
to. I plan to attend Union
Mhm.
and just get life started.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
excited.
Yes, sir.
I'm
Yes,
I'm
sir.
very excited to, I'm very excited for the spot that I'm in where I don't have to procrastinate anymore. I can go ahead and get started. I'm
Yes, sir.
excited.
Man, that's good, man.
Yes, sir.
Listen, fellas, I thank you all so much for your time and just for how much y'all been dropping gems all night. Like, I don't know. I might have to put a gem emoji up every time you drop a gem. Would you be like, listen to this? And, I'm gonna have some notes down there,
Yeah.
I might have to come up with something because you're dropping gems all through it. I'm not just saying it, but for real, man. Your words. You all can't see my wife, but as they're talking, I look over at my wife and she has her hands up. She's like, because your words are so refreshing, and then to hear you all at your ages speak about what's happening in the way you do and how you're communicating, it's so powerful and so refreshing, man. So thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Especially,
I'm thankful you had us on. I'm honored.
Even I guess if you're hosting something, you probably shouldn't cry so much.
No.
I feel it.
It's the way it works.
But
Yeah.
for you all to come first and do something like this for me first,
Yes, sir.
it means so much to me. I'm so grateful.
Yes, sir.
I'm so thankful that you all would be willing to come and say, man, hey, we love to do it. We love it. So I really, really appreciate
Thank you
all.
for having us.
Elijah, Judah Thompson, Pure Conversation. Ho! Give him your social. Your social so they can.
So it's Elijah Thompson on Instagram, but I guess I can go ahead and say this. This will be the first time.
If we get in
I've
trouble,
said it.
we'll take it out. If you say don't take it, I'll take it out.
Taylor will be cool with this. We're about to drop pages for the music.
Mm-hmm.
So where you find the music, and that's gonna be called Live Oak Productions, Live Oak Music. So
Yes,
that's
sir.
gonna So yeah, that's where they can. Soon you'll be able to go on Spotify, Apple Music, and listen to the music. And
Yes,
we're gonna
sir.
try to put stuff out all the time because we're writing every day. So
Yes, sir.
gonna
Yes,
let
sir.
y'all hear it.
And now, do you already have do you have a website
Yeah,
ready for it?
We got an Instagram.
Instagram.
Give you
You go to Instagram, it's tethered_clothing, and then I don't have anything personal right now. I'm
Cool.
off of that.
Yeah.
But the website will be up soon.
Okay.
We have to get the shirts first.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
the website will be up by
Yeah.
beginning of March into February.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we already have it all set up, so we just
So you said
Ready to
tethered
roll.
_
clothing.
Clothing.
TETHERED.
All right, guys. So that's how follow them. Follow them. Follow the clothing. Be on the lookout for the drop. It's gonna be. He said it's gonna be exclusive, and you don't want to miss this first drop. You all right? It may not come back around, so you don't miss it.
Y'all ain't never getting these shirts again.
It sounds a little Kanye-ish, like you ain't gonna never get these shoes again. You ain't gonna never get this merch again. So listen, let's support the fellas. Let's support them. Let's love on them. Please love on them and everything. You know how much love they show to your children. Think about how many times your child may have said, yeah, I talked to Judah today, or I talked to Elijah, or they said this and that to me. I know they've been a blessing to our children, and I know they've probably been a blessing to your children as well. All right, so thank you again for checking out Pure Conversations. Judah and Elijah, we appreciate you so much.
Thank
you all.
so much.
Thank you so much.
You're honored.